what constitutes a good contract. So it's been really great to, understand the process to get to the contract, but I'm even interested to see like what constitutes a good contract once you do get it. And because of that contract, is there something that would be beneficial to know in the book proposal process when you're shopping for publishers in the first place? So is there something that is in the contract that would be best to know about what different type of presses? I'm just trying to, like you said, be as transparent. I want to know all the things to know going into this process what that all looks like.
So most presses, their contracts are standard templates that have been approved by the university's general counsel. And so your ability to negotiate is really limited. Which by that, I mean, don't think, and also don't feel like you have to go line by line and edit a contract. I've seen some first-time authors do that, and really that just, there's nothing we can do there. A lot of the language we think through a lot of the language, like Kat mentioned earlier. Often with most books, we're just trying to break even. We're not trying to, or at least I hope most presses aren't trying to exploit you. We're not trying to trick you. But in terms of things that you can negotiate, I think we talked about scaling royalties. I think Kat mentioned that earlier. So usually for first-time authors, royalties are going to be like around 5 to 7%, but you can see if they can bump it up once you've sold. Usually it starts at like 1,000 books or something like that.
That was advice that I got about scaling. I didn't know existed, but Stop told me that, right? And was like, you can't change the fact that they have a scale, but you can maybe say like, I want the bump at 500 versus 1,000 and see what they say, right? I want the bump at 250 versus 500 and see what they say. So that, those small kinds of changes were at least possible.
Yeah. You can also ask these are all really small things because it's small stakes in some regards, but you can ask for more author copies. Usually you get like 10, I'd say. And then after that, you can buy more at a 40%, for us anyway, 40% discount. But you can ask for more if you feel you want more. You can pay attention to, we've been talking so much about the proposal process, about the writing process. One other thing to keep in mind is that's only the first half of the publishing process. Once your book goes into production, you still need to handle copy editing. Some presses will ask you to review proofs, stuff like that. And so another thing I recommend to authors is look at your personal schedule and look at the timeline laid out in your contract. See if you want more turnaround time to review copy edits, if you want more turnaround time to review proofs. You don't want to ask for too much time, but if like an extra week would help, like now's the time to ask for that. And it'll give you more space to make sure your book's as polished as possible. And I'm sure I'm forgetting. The other way to make money off of books is licensing. And so this is a small thing too, but if you have images in your books, when you're asking for permissions, make sure that you get permission. You want non-exclusive rights in perpetuity for world and all languages. Because what that means is that when the press is licensing out your book to other publishers, they then don't have to worry. If a foreign press asks for rights to publish your book, for example, I work on African studies, so we get requests to publish the book in Africa. I don't have to say like, oh no, we can't actually give you the rights to this because this one quote, we only have permission to publish in the US or something like that. So just do what you can to make it easy for the press to sell your book, to license your book to other presses. And I'll stop there. That's some really nitty-gritty stuff.
Relevant contract-wise is some presses have a right of first refusal for your next book project written into a contract. So think about if that's something that is important to you. If you're with a press that you like and you want to keep working with, maybe that's fine. But if maybe you didn't have the greatest experience or you want to try out a new press, you just don't want to be beholden, you can talk about that right of first refusal and how that costs at some places. And also increasingly, if you're writing a book that you think you have this inkling, and everyone thinks this, but it's not true, that it's going to be a popular audience is going to like your book too, right? We all think this, like every academic is like, but my book is going to be the one that crosses over. No, it's like, it stops and that's it, right? But like we all think that like someone's going to really want to do something with this, but something that she told me was that about licensing for recording, right? So like how much you'll get paid if they turn it into an audiobook, or if it gets licensed out to become a part of a film, which Algorithms of Oppression did, right? So we saw that happen. And so it's not unheard of. Academic text can actually end up in a motion picture. It can end up, right? You don't see that coming. So this is not a huge concern. It's probably not going to be relevant, but that right of first refusal is something that I had in mind too, in terms of whether or not I wanted to publish my next academic press book with that same publisher.
I'm the difference.
It's going to be you. It's going to be you.